Hi, my name is Randy Agard, and this is for the class Bad Words and Taboo Terms. This is the fourth in a series of videos on the taxonomy of taboo words. This time we're looking at the class of obscenity. Now, as I said with profanity, just that profanity often gets used synonymously with the term taboo words, but we're using it in a more precise way. The same thing goes with obscenity. Obscenity in common parlance often gets used as a synonym to taboo words, but we're going to be using it in a more precise, more restricted way. We're going to restrict it to taboo words related to sex. I should also note that obscenity is a legal term in US law. And in that way, it's used in a much different way than we're using it. So we're going to have to be careful about that. And a little bit later in the semester, when we talk about law, then we'll talk about the legal definition of obscenity. But for the most part, when we use the term in this class, we're going to be using it specifically meaning taboo words related to sex. Now, it's not surprising that in the world's languages, there would be a taboo on words related to sex, in that sex is a taboo in most, if not all, cultures of the world. So where there's a taboo on some behavior, it's not surprising that words related to that behavior also are going to be taboo. So for example, in modern day English, we've got words like fuck and filch referring to sexual acts, and then also body part terms like cock or pussy. Now, something we have to be aware of is that many of our body parts do double duty with evacuation and sex. So, for example, cock could equally well be a scatological term because it's used in evacuation as an obscenity. Now, we'll talk more about that overlap a little later in the series, in the last of the series, when we kind of step back and talk about the taxonomy as a whole. But I want you to be aware of that. And another thing that could be considered both scatology and obscenity would be, for example, cum, because sex creates bodily fluids, which of course counts as scatology, but since it's also part of sex, cum is going to be both obscenity and scatology.